galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. A galactic historian goes to each and every line of dramatic karma and lives in soul family with everyone, so they see the big picture of all of the karma that's going on in a local part of the universe.
The infrastructure of potential was there. You still had to connect the dots and use a series of free will expressions to get you there. There are also a number of people, the karmic doors closed them off to so much, all that was left was this galactic historian guy on the internet. People who listened to the Galactic History 1 and within a year went back to sleep because the world turned to be really shitty and no one woke up. None of the predictions happened. I understood as a higher soul that being in this time with the perceptive nature of the human I could be attracting people to the material that a person had to open the door with.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Talking Stick Show. So I am joined by the entrepreneurial, magical queen, princesses, chickens, Laura Massey and Amy Kruzic. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I thought you weren't going to stop describing us.
I know.
How many pronouns? What is it? Adjectives can he come up with for us?
How many eggs can a chicken lay?
Yeah.
Yes. How are you getting Miss Kruzic music?
Yeah. Doing okay. Doing okay. Yes.
Good.
And you guys? You, Laura?
We're really good. Our heads are spinning because there is so much going on for us at the moment, setting up the pain management clinic here in the UK, and also setting up Lucia light sessions in a local yurt to get people to experience the no drug mystical experience. And yeah, so we actually have a lot going on. That was Rich, if people know Rich Winter, who was on a couple of weeks ago. That was him. He's staying with us at the moment because he's going to be involved in setting up the pain management clinic too, and obviously Dale and I. So it's all really exciting what's happening. That is.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's like the spiritual communities are coming together.
Yeah.
People contacting us saying, I was thinking, I might move to the south of England and we could work together. And you say, well, everything is in potential.
Yes.
It's
everything.
Exciting.
So, Laura, do you want to talk about the ghostly experiences there as well? That would be a nice experience to share.
So I was thinking that this, I used to live on this estate. It's a golfing estate, a private estate. And there's a golf club there, which we thought was a couple of 100 years old, didn't we, Dale? And then Dale looked it up and it's about 1500. The original place was built. And of course, Andrew would tell you everywhere people have lived and their stories and things have happened. So, so many places, let's say, can be haunted or have a lot of activity going on. And we both felt it in when we were there. And I think I brought something back with me, somebody who needed rescuing. But this isn't the first time. You get people listening will know this. You get people stuck in astral who need to be moved on. And when you do your shamanic training with Andrew or whoever, it's one of the things you learn is how you can do that safely.
Mhm.
Not meddling in things you don't understand, but doing that in a sacred space in that sort of environment. So I'm thinking that is probably something that Dale and I will have to do. But you know, when you take these, like the PEMF mat, the pulsed electromagnetic field mat, and you take that into a room, it's such high frequency that when it's been on for a while, it clears the room. So you don't always have to sage, do you, Dale? But saging is obviously an ancient, really great practice to do. But there are other ways now in our with current AI, we can do that too.
Yeah.
So we'll be
I
interested
love
to see
that.
what turns up, won't we, Dale?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think for this specific place, it would be maybe negotiating with them and knowing that there are a lot of ghosts, but there are also ancestral energies and spirits there who have a bond and a sacred bond to the land. Plus, there'll be a soup of ghosty ghosts, and it's about how you can make a deal where you're coming here with respect, and you're coming right. This is the room we'll be doing healings in. We're obviously going to clear the room and the space and protect the space we're going to be doing in, but it's about not entangling with the manor's energy as well, not taking on responsibility of clearing out the whole manor. And that's the fine line there between getting attacked and having some ghosties who can actually accept your presence there, because there's a respect energy. And obviously, if someone goes over that respect energy, you have the right kits to deal with them if they come and try and attack you, or so on and so forth. But I feel that that area needs ancestral balancing. And for Laura to have such an upbringing and living there for so long, it's like the land seeded that place as a gift from the universe and a gift from the ancestors, and all of the great work Laura's done there, and all of the great work she's done in her unseen world, all the great work I've done, this show's done, all of our team have done. And it came at the right time, at the right moment, where we thought it wasn't going to happen. Maybe there was a big obstacle in front of us, but all of a sudden that obstacle was nothing. And we were granted permission to split the room in half, put a new wall in, make another room at the ridiculous low rate we got it for. Like, usually we'd be paying double that for any other place, but we've got it. So there's that gift there as well. So it's how we can work with the land in balance, but not going in with that slight worker mentality. We're going to clear the shit out of the house. We're going to beat some demons up, some ghosts up. Sometimes it's all about balancing responsibility and making deals with them. Not going to say I'm going to go for a drink with all of them after work or something, but these are our boundaries.
You might not have any choice, Dale. They might come along with you. But this land is where I started my spiritual practices that I learned from Andrew. So I've done many, many ceremonies on this land because, as I say, I lived on the estate where the golf course is. So every time I go back there, so I'm not living there now because that was with a previous partner, but every time I go back, it's like greeting old friends, the ancestors of the land I've done so much balancing with. So it's good that this has come about on the same land. It doesn't mean you don't keep up that relationship, because it's just like keeping up relationship with people in the scene world, isn't it? Only you can't see it, but you know they're there. There's a knowingness that they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Did we have somebody come in the room, Joel?
We did. So there's been a troll who has appeared. We believe there's been two trolls appeared. But so just to let everyone know, this is a call-in show, and this is a chance and opportunity for you to get a free reading with myself, Amy, and Laura, with a panel of experts. Like we charge I charge £220 for a session. And you've got the opportunity here, and same with Amy and all the work she does, all the work Laura does, to be able to get a free session. What's holding you back? Come on to the Zoom, have a chat with us. So the link is in the description for your opportunity to not be chicken shits, as Andrew says many times, and come in and speak to us. We're friendly. So how have things been with you? What's new in your world then?
Me?
Yes, Amy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Yes. Great. Yeah. It's I just came off a pilgrimage to Quebec City. That was really I'm still kind of integrating it, but again, like you said with your ayahuasca with the grandfathers, mine was with the grandmother, and revisited St. Anne's Basilica. Not revisited, never visited it, but revisiting St. Anne again and her teachings. And it was just so beautiful. I mean, I actually had cried as soon as it's a beautiful basilica. It's like, just imagine gold lame, gold, blue, yellow, or gold, blue, white, and mosaics everywhere. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, huge basilica.
So what
And
was it?
yeah,
Just a question. What was it like, Amy? So because I had this feeling pre-ayahuasca, like the pre-cogs and everything before, what was it like getting ready for that journey? Were there any insights or any feelings you were getting, what you knew what was going to happen? Because that happened to me, that there was a part of me kind of out there, not a little bit, but just tasting the kind of potentials of what's going to happen.
yeah. So I just sent prayers ahead of time. I had in my mind, this is so funny because I had in my mind, there's also at the Notre Dame, there is a holy door that's only opened every 25 years. And so I went through the holy door. It was open. It's open this year. And it's a pilgrimage. It's a symbolic act of leaving things behind when you walk through the door. And so it was, I didn't want to, kind of premeditate that, but it wasn't crowded. So I stood in front of the door before I went through and just had my own, because Jesus is on the front of the door with his hand, and just had a chat, and I walked through the door, and then there's this beautiful altar to the left that's a Sacred Heart, which is my favorite image of Jesus. And then you have your, they have you put, you write down your intentions and you throw it. There's a basket there that you put it in. So that was quite an experience. But what was funny is that I'm like, I'm going to go through the door on my birthday. That's when I want to do it, right? Well, no, Amy, that did not happen. Spirit had a different route. So that was kind of funny to me because actually we got in there the day before my birthday. There was 2 hours of traffic. We thought we were going to go to the Basilica first, let's go the furthest point. Well, no, there was like 2 hours to get into the city. Something happened. And we're like, well, we're tired. Let's just check in the hotel and walk around the city. And of course, voila, the door was open at the time. So we went through on the day before. And then the next day we went to the Basilica and then to the waterfall that day on my birthday. So here's the thing. It's so funny because I saw it. The vision came. It was like, okay, going through the holy door was going through the birth canal. It was like that feeling of going through the birth canal. Then going to the Basilica was kind of that healing, because St. Anne is a healer and healing people. There's all kind of like crutches and canes and everything on the wall there that she had healed people. And so that was my birth of that healing of whatever needed to be healed from going through the door the day before. And then the waterfall was the cleansing of everything. And I did have a fear going over the waterfall, walking over it, but I did it.
Wow.
I wanted to crawl. I didn't want to walk. I just wanted to get down on low ground and just, I was laughing at myself like, oh, you are ridiculous. So that was a great adventure.
So what was it like post that experience then, and just going through that experience and the post journey after for the week? What has it been like afterwards for you?
Afterwards, a lot of a lot of just connection with St. Anne still, kind of like that grandmother wisdom coming through, and just that feeling of there's a little doubt, like, are you sure are you sure? It's like having conversations with her.
Wow.
And
Yes.
because you do have some doubt, it's like, okay, I know I can do this. I walked across the bridge, and I know that, that fear of that, whatever fear it was, it probably had nothing to do with the rushing water that was rushing down but it was whatever fears of that. Like, it's okay now. Like the comfort, it just felt, it's almost like a comforting blanket, like coming home and just kind of like sitting with it and writing in my journal about it, and thanking, a lot of gratefulness and thankfulness, and a lot of that was coming up. But yeah,
Beautiful,
so
Amy.
yeah, that was my experience.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so it was good. Isn't it funny how, like, why? Because my friend, Donnie Glidis, she's the one who told me about the Holy Door, and we had already planned Quebec City, and I'm like, "Who? She's telling me this for a reason." So, and then she told me about St. Anne's, and then it was like, "Oh my God, okay." Like I just knew it. Okay, someone else had to let me know about it, right? Like we have those people around us to tell us.
Yeah, spirit
Yes.
talking through them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all she said, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm there. No doubt. There was no doubt in that.
That's great, because sometimes we miss that.
Yes, I
These
wouldn't have.
messages from spirit around us, and we're just like, nah, can't see it.
No, I don't.
Can't hear it. Yeah.
I know. And then my husband's like, "We got to go to this waterfall," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go to the water." So on the way back from the basilica, but it was like, yeah, like all these things, I left things open. I wasn't real rigid. I was in my thinking. I'm going to do
Yeah.
this on my birthday, and it has to be done. And no, it didn't even happen.
That's
But
beautiful. You got out of agenda.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That's
yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, just into the flow of the moment, and all those lovely synchronicities that happen when you're in that like divine flow.
yeah.
It's like,
And
beyond synchronicity in a way. Fabulous.
and can I ask you guys if you ever had this? Like, I was just noticing, people looking. Do you ever like cross people and they just look at you in the eye and they're like, "I know you." This
Yeah.
one girl in a
Yeah.
store said,
Yeah.
"You've been in here before, haven't you? Today? Have you been in here today?" I'm like, "No, this is my first time." And it's like that connection. It was like, "Wow, I know you."
Maybe your precog was in there checking out the grocery store.
Yes, it was a pair of moccasins, actually. It was a moccasin store. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Clothes store. Yeah, all my precogs are in the clothes store.
Yeah,
Not food shopping. In the shoe shop.
in the shoe shop. It was like, yeah. So all these like handmade okay, I'm gonna do that.
I'll be there.
But it was just things like that. Like people look at you like, "Oh, I know you. We know each other." So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. That was cool.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Amy. Incredible.
Yeah,
Amy, that was cool.
thank you.
So we're going to open up the callers. And so firstly, Lillian, we're giving you the signal to unmute to come on for a reading. So if you want to join us, come in for a chat and a reading, hit the link, which is in the description, to come onto the Zoom room and chat to us. So Lillian, there we go. You're unmuted. Hello, are you there?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Lillian.
Hello, Leanne.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. Happy equinox.
Thank you, and to you.
Yeah.
Are you in Devon?
Yes, I am.
Yes. I remember,
Yes.
because you have been on before. Well, we know who you are, all of us, I think, don't we?
Yeah, and I've done some training with Dale as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a couple of the ancestral and the coincidentally, Nicola, who I did the training with, the ancestral mediumship, and
Yeah.
she's on at the moment as well. She's in the she was in the chat just now.
Oh, was she? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, Nicola. Yes. Can't see her on the screen, but come on.
Okay. Yeah.
So good to have you here again. How can we help you today?
Yeah. I guess, this turning of the wheel is it's an opportunity to look at the things that we want to kind of not take forward with us. In one of the practices one of the things I asked myself was actually, what if I could fabricate my next life? What is it I would leave behind, and what is it that I would take forward of of the things that I value in my life.
So
And
are you talking about when you cross over what you're going to leave behind here and what potential you could have for future lifetimes, or you're talking
yes,
about the personality? Is that what you're trying to ask?
yes.
Yes.
And yeah, it's also personality wise, but also the gifts that we've, been given in this lifetime and what we've done with it. I feel there's still for me, a bit of hesitation in whether I have the capacity to do this. I think there's also a lot of there's a bit of fear that comes up going further with the training that I've done, like the ancestral healing and the soul mediumship. And I haven't been doing much practicing. Nicola and I were actually meant to do. We've done a few practice sessions, but we haven't gone very far forward with it. And I guess that, yeah.
So my advice for you specifically would be, I'll answer that question, but firstly, it's about you start having regular life reviews in this lifetime, because as well as your death review, so when you go through the death stage, you go outside your body, you go around other people you've had relationships with, karma with, and so on. But then they'll get to a point where you go through your life review. Everyone's different, and when they cross over, sometimes it's a long time, sometimes it's quite short until they get their life review. And the life review is all about the karma, not just of this lifetime, but past, present, and future of all the thousands of lifetimes you've had, and so on. So there'll be a kind of synopsis point of what you've learned, what you're meant to learn in ancestral balancing, what you're meant to learn in soul growth. So you'll understand a pattern you create as a soul. So when you're coming in for a reincarnation pattern, you're going through a cycle of being stuck, a part of you being stuck into the system of domination, because that's what the reincarnating is. But then there'll be a part of you in the incarnation grid as well, where you're able to pick and choose where you go forward next. So it's different for each and every individual. And for you specifically, it would be about you creating life reviews in the now and not focusing on the life review when you cross over. So you can just have a life review in a ceremonial expression where you can come bring the grandmothers and grandfathers forward and go, right, I want a life review. So have a ceremony doing yourself, ask for guidance and guardians from all the wisdom you've learned from the ancestral communication course. So you can go to the Aurora Borealis, set up a ceremonial ground in the North Pole, bring all the grandmothers and ancestors to stand around you and ask for their wisdom. What am I not seeing in my life? Can I have a life review? And it's interesting because I took a client this morning on the Rainbow Bridge, and that's what I was doing for her. I was bringing all of these different ancestral spirits which wanted to come forward and give them guidance and life review of what potentiality can mean for them. Laura, Amy, is anything else you want to add to this?
Well, I would agree with, don't skip the rest of your life now for you coming in next time.
Of course
Because
not.
a lot's going to change between now and then. And it's the work you do in the remainder of your life as well, which will change all the potentials for your soul. So look at yourself as an overview, as always talking about soul evolution, what we're going to carry forward, but also this lifetime. And I think you maybe said things that you're stuck with or things you can't change was the essence, I thought, of what you were saying. And there are things like that, but these things are either you're balancing karma, whether you stick with them or whether you walk away or whatever, there will be a degree of balancing karma in these and lessons as well. And it's also about your perspective to these things. Obviously, we haven't talked about any of these things in detail. And I appreciate that there's some things in life, this life now, that can be very, very challenging. But that's the whole idea of the daily practice with connecting to your ancestors, connecting to your support team. So you pull in as much of support you can get from your unseen world. And then it's also about really empowering yourself this lifetime, that sovereignty, so that you can always co-create with the natural elements within the system. The system is always going to be challenging, and it's very, very challenging at the moment for many, many people. But when you just remember to tune into the natural energies of Earth, that's where your support's going to come from too. So I appreciate there might be some things at the moment that seem, like, you know, almost, for some people they can be unbearable. Always seek help as well on your journey. We're always saying this: nurture yourself, even if it begins with talking to a friend. But you can get some counseling, hypnotherapy. There's spiritual versions of that, which all three of us sat here do that. But just look after yourself on your journey this lifetime. And when you start to work with the energies I'm talking about and bringing yourself into balance, then it changes your perspective of things.
Yes.
So it makes life easier to deal with. As I say, I don't know particularly what it is you're talking about, but it is about the changes you need to make now and the choices you're making now, and the separation of densities between old Lillians that aren't serving you and old friends that are no longer, you no longer feel you're connecting with energetically. It is a big time of change. It's autumn equinox, it's harvesting. Pulling in everything, having a look at it, letting go of what not serving us for the next cycle. And life is always a cycle. Amy?
Yeah. What came to me first, Lillian, was when you get to a point, the word eulogy came up, is to write your own eulogy. And whatever perspectives you see in that. So it could be, and evaluate the situations, like look at it from all angles and see all of what your, aspects of yourself that you can see and write about it. It might shift something inside you, like you might not have thought of something, but let it just run free through your, like, let your hand do the writing, not your mind. Kind of just write it out and put in the things that you want in there, and
That's
things you want to
beautiful. Thank
change.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you said life review, and I don't know, eulogies always come up, as people write them for us, but we never really write our own, do we?
No, it's true.
So
Is
let's
it
do
all right for me to do the video, or shall I just stay?
Ooh,
No, of course.
video is good.
To come in? Oh, okay. Just feels a bit more personal.
Yes, we do try and do video. It's just sometimes the bandwidth doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
Yes, come into the room.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Am I there? I don't know if I'm there. Anyway. No?
So
No,
I think Joel has to pin you in a second. I believe I can pin you, I think. There we go. Actually, no, I've screwed it up. Sorry. Oops.
It could be that because of trolls that it's only us who can be pinned.
There
you are.
There we go.
Yeah.
What made you have, to help you here? What made you want to go forward to the next life to change things?
I suppose it's this this procrastination. I don't seem to be very good at just getting things done. And I've just had an astrology reading from a friend of mine, and she made it quite clear that, I really need to get on with things. I have a divorce that I need to sort out. And that's been 10 years that I've been putting that off. I've been separated. And it's almost like I feel like I've got, lifetimes to do that. And actually, I want to get on with things because I'm holding myself back. And I have two teenagers as well who live with me, who are going to be moving out. So it's actually looking a bit further. And what I love about the practices that I'm learning with you and with Andrew is looking further down the line and maybe sending your prayers in the future to the present moment, and working on ways in which I can break this pattern of just being constantly distracted
So
And
that
partly that is not listening to the ancestors, I suppose, and not
and
doing A plus effort.
so Lillian, it's an avoidance technique you've had for a long time,
Mm.
where you're getting to the point where you're avoiding everything to the point where it bleeds through your reality, and it creates an unbalancing within you where you give up. And at the moment there's a part of you which is saying, I'm not good enough, but you are good enough. That's just an aspect of you which is in avoidism, and you have to
Yeah.
come out of avoidism and understand, like Amy says, start doing the writing, start writing it to pen, making it a manifestation in this 3D world, because that's one of the most important parts of you progressing now is 3D balancing, as well as all the spiritual stuff on top. You've got to master the art of just being a balanced 3D human. Scheduling, writing down your story, journaling, raising, and start coming up with a plan where you give yourself a life review once every 6 months. Right, the divorce, I'm going to write this down. I've been avoiding this for 10 years. I'm avoiding this, I'm avoiding this. And you'll start coming out with these avoidism things. Like it's happened to me loads with all sorts of different things. Sometimes it can just, when the avoidance happens, those things you're avoiding start bleeding through into your reality really slowly. Like, and it becomes it's an anxiety, whether it's an anger, whether it's something in your environment. I've done this in my past relationship where it got to the point where I had a headache for weeks because something was going on in my environment I was avoiding and I was not looking at. And it's a similar thing for you, but different. Like, and going, Amy said, that's so important for you to do. And like Laura explained as well, you have to start putting pen to paper now and start holding yourself accountable that you can do this. You're a great person. You know that.
Yeah.
Spirit inside of you, but it's a will for you now to change, create, and make the subconscious change, because your subconscious programming is through a lack of awareness. It's through all of that. And you have to have a moment where 6 months of change is going to make the subconscious change. So you're going to understand and program yourself in other ways. It's like this program has completely taken hold of you, but you can defeat the program step by step over a long period of time. Processes like hypnosis, counseling, like Laura mentioned, those do help. There's a reason behind those. Amy, anything you want to add?
I do, because Lillian, oh my gosh, procrastination was one of my big things where I would just I was getting frustrated with the procrastination. So I don't know if it was Maddie or somebody said, write a revocation as a rap, like use those F words, use those swear words in there and put it to bed, like put it to rest.
Yeah.
And like it all just came up because it was just stuffing it down and avoiding. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And so maybe do that. Yeah. And also, I think it's time to honor yourself. When was the last time you honored yourself?
It's true, it is true.
Yeah.
I've been in mama mode for a long time.
Yeah.
And but recently I went on holiday to Italy, and I've had, for the first time, I've decided I'm going to go ahead with the paperwork, and I've started on the paperwork for the divorce. And for the first time ever, I actually had a little romance. And this is like 10 years. I've never even actually been with anybody. So that felt like energetically I was able to start letting go, because I'm realizing that actually the procrastination of it is actually making me hold on to an old energy that's actually no longer serving me. And we've moved on. It's not like he's got a different relationship, but there is, he reflected to me, and as in good relationships, I suppose there is a reflection that we can have for each other. And he said, there's one thing, and he's Trinidadian, and he said, there's one thing about you. It is stick. You just stick like glue, you just don't move. And I want to change that. I really want to change that. And any tools, I really appreciate the advice of the tools that.
Well, you have to decide whether anything like that you still want to be energetically attached to, because you could say that one reason you haven't met anybody so far is because you haven't filled out those divorce papers. So just remember, everything in the seen world has an unseen aspect. So energetically, without getting fully divorced, you're saying you're not ready for somebody else. So you've left that 10 years, like not being ready for somebody else, when I'm sure you are. So think of everything in terms of energy like that. And you without getting the completion there, you've still got that energetic attachment to him. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being friends and all the rest of it. But the divorce represents the end of that marriage, the end of that intimacy and everything else that you have with the husband, which really needs to be done so you can move on, and he can, but he has as much as he can. But it will be far better for both of you to actually have that energetic separation as well, because that's, you know, for me, I see a great deal of heaviness with those old attachments pulling you back. And procrastination often is from a childhood trauma too, because you live in this sort of brain fog sometimes, don't you? And it just piles up and it piles up, and you might get some you know, some hypnotherapy or something like that, and to go back and look at some of the childhood traumas and so on. There's an overwhelming energy that comes, which makes you put things off as well. So it might be going back and looking at when you were first overwhelmed in your life as a child, and doing that inner work, working through the times where you felt overwhelmed, and really looking at that. But yes, get some help with that, counselling or hypnotherapy or something, to take you back through that.
I have done some hypnotherapy, and that was helpful. Yes,
So,
absolutely.
But we
Lily,
change, we move on all the time. And you just have to ask yourself, you know, what choice could I make? Sorry?
Yeah, but partly the issue with the whole divorce thing is that it's related to money, and there's an issue of, you know, I've inherited money since we've separated, but I think there's a fear in me that he wants to have us, you know, half of whatever, and it's not really his to have. So it's almost like, if I don't do the divorce, then I don't have to deal with that side of it, and I can, you know.
Yeah.
But
And you
so
have
it's
to deal with
like
it.
a ball and chain. It's like a big cloud over my head, and I realize now that actually, even if I lost half of what I'd inherited, okay, so be it. But I would be free, and my soul would be free again to live my life.
Yeah, because at the moment you're like this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you want to breathe the fresh air of freedom and the relaxation and the lack of worry, because you're just clenched and holding on. And when you have to do that, you know, you're causing your body a great deal of stress as well. And you don't want that for yourself.
Lillian, what was life like before you gave birth? So when you were first had a child in your belly, what was life like prior to that? Like, say, a year prior to it?
It was quite, I had a lot of responsibility. I was the only person working. My husband wasn't working. He never really has done much work. And so I was juggling a job. I'd come back from living in the Caribbean, where I'd wanted to live for the rest of my life, pretty much. That was my dream, to live out there. And I gave it all up for my husband. Came to live in London, worked all sorts of jobs that I could possibly get my hands on just to pay the rent. And and then fell pregnant.
So that's somewhere you're going to have to go back to, because as I read you, it's like before the pregnancy, that's when you started not giving up, because pregnancy had its greater use and greater experiences, but there was a part of you which gave up on your own dreams, and that part of you. So before that, you're going to have to start going back and writing out story to story about when you went through that transition where you had to give yourself to someone, had to work for someone, but before you had dreams and inspirations to see the world, to live somewhere else. And it's about you seeding and going back to that past self, which had wisdom to dream. And but then when you started becoming pregnant, all of the bills, all of the money, the stress of having to provide, having to have money to survive and so on, overpowered you. And you're in this soup energy of overpowered now where you've not recovered from the pregnancy. So it's going to be vitally important that you go through a set of massage, rolfing, something where you can really start unwinding the deep inner emotion, which is blocked in your hips, your tailbone, your spine. Every single part of you has a deep resonance of depression, and it just needs to be fought out of you because that's not you anymore. You've gone through that cycle and you have to go through the deep purging of you now, because I see it in your face. There's a smile and there's a sparkle I've never seen before in you. Like I can see your face sparkling. So there's a new you being born in this present moment, but in you there's a reality, and that's why you asked about the life review, because you know there's something going on there. You know there's something you have to be aware of, and this is it, going into the past, writing down, not running away from it. The more you don't run away from it, the more your dreams are going to be understood, the more you're going to bring that fire to you again, where you can get through this. You can get through the divorce and so on and so forth. So that's what I was picking up. It was like there's something going on internally within you, but there was a part of you in your journey where you stopped living. But even though you were pregnant and you had to go through that experience to be a mother, it made you into a mother. It's a beautiful experience. But there was a part of you, of the dreamer of you, which got put aside and just completely just said, right, I'm overwhelmed now. I've just got to go on autopilot. And now you're coming off autopilot, where you're realizing you are an I am awareness presence. You are a sacred person. That love has ignited you again to find love. So you've had that loving frequency come through and you're like, holy shit, this is who I am. So it's continuing to find who you are now. Pen to paper. It's time. You can do it, sister. Anything else anyone wants to add?
Yeah. Just find the joy in everyday living. You can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can. We've spoken before. I know you can, and focus on that, because sometimes underlying procrastination is also anxiety, low self-esteem, forms of depression, as you probably know. So carry on with the great work of the self-healing and the self-nurturing, and laugh, enjoy yourself best you can, and I suppose it's the old let go. Let go.
Laura, can I
sorry.
ask you a question? So what would you advise for her to start unwinding some of this real deep emotion inside of her out? What would you advise for her?
Well, I know you've done some counseling and hypnotherapy. That is always really good. You can buy some probably pre-recorded. I mean, Dale and I are going to do some hypnotherapy meditations that you can listen to as well to help you do that. But also, have you had a craniosacral before? Craniosacral therapy?
Yes, I get regular craniosacral therapy from Abby. You know Abby, don't you?
I know Abby, absolutely. Yeah.
She's amazing.
And there's also, when it gets stuck in the body, can't remember whether Abby did fascial unwinding, but there's also some fascial unwinding you can do. Because it helps. And I know Andrew always talks about more recently, he's talked about rolfing, which is really, really good. And we'll try some different ones as well, like some deep tissue massaging as well. And then what do you do for fun?
Oh, I do lots of things for fun. I dance and I laugh. I go swimming. I mean, I spent the equinox days 3 days on the beach, swimming in the sea. I'm Pisces, but I love, and just saying prayers to the sea and just like allowing things to be released that I don't want to carry further anymore. And and like I said, at this holiday that I had, it just made me realize that actually there's still, hope in finding love, and it's not the end of, I think that's probably the fear that was hanging over me, is that because I couldn't be with the father of my children, and I value being a parent of, or being in a family with two parents rather than just be a single parent. because I myself lost my mother at the age of 4. So there's for me there's a particular clinging on I had to this ideal of being in a 2-parent family.
Yeah.
And
So
I have a very much
Part
of a
of the
mother
lesson.
religion.
Part of the lesson
Yeah.
of letting go.
Yes.
Yeah.
so do you drive, Lillian, at all? Do you drive?
Oh yes, I do. I like
Yeah.
driving.
So
Yeah.
what my advice would be at some point in time is for you to come see me and Laura and make a schedule and make a plan where you can stay over for a few nights and we can put you through the system.
You're
So-
only down the road.
Right. I really would love that. I'm
So
fascinated.
you're not far
by it.
from us, and drop us a message after and we can schedule opening you up and getting some of that deep inner emotion out of you. Because I believe with me and Laura's combined skills of working maybe 2 days, we can start getting some of that deep old resonance of the old yous out of you. And we've had lots of success at it. We've done it many times. And it'd be great to meet you as well. Really good to meet you.
Yeah, it'd
Yes.
be really cool. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, do that.
Amazing.
Okay,
And
Mala.
Lillian, I was just seeing a lot of water around you, like water, but it was stagnant. Water, like you just said you went to the beach, but water represents emotions, but it also is a purifier. So what I saw you do was if you could find a lake or a river, something that's not as crashing as waves, but if you could look at the reflection of yourself back to you in the water. You know how lakes, it can change your reflection I don't know if there's lakes where you guys are, but just staring at your reflection and just seeing it change as the water changes. That's just something I picked up for
That's
that
beautiful.
to get it flowing again for you.
Love that.
Not like the ocean can be very harsh sometimes. It can be,
It was fairly calm. It was fairly
Oh,
calm.
good.
Right?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But
So that was quite good. Yeah.
wherever you can see your reflection, I don't know, in a bird bath, something, a puddle, anything, just take a look every time.
Yeah, I sometimes feel that I have too much fun and I need to get down to doing the things that really need to be done. I spend a lot of time in community and I'm very loved by my community here in Totnes. I would love you guys to come here as well. I think you would really like it.
We will.
You've been to Dartmoor, haven't you?
We'll do a trip. So with your fun, you have to be honest with yourself and deciding whether it really is fun that you need or whether it's procrastination again. Distraction.
Exactly.
Okay. So I can use distraction all the time if I don't want to get on with something. We all can. So just be honest with yourself. Right. And fun. Great. Yeah. And it's brilliant because it's such a great way to flip the frequencies of anxiety and depression. But then there's the other side of there's stuff I really need to do, get done that's going to free you and make you feel good anyway.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lillian.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Be in
Take care.
touch.
Bye-bye.
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 So we're next going to bring Nicola on, who I messaged to come on, and she's on. So Nicola giving you the signal to unmute. Hello, Nicola.
Hello, Dale again. And
Hello,
everyone.
Hi,
And I'm overcoming my chicken shitness right now.
Yes.
Well done. Do you think that's the ayahuasca?
I think so, yeah. And after chatting with Dale earlier today as well. So I'm challenging myself. And I'd like to tell you guys some jokes, if that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of car does an egg drive? A Volkswagen.
Oh.
What do you call a lazy doctor? Dr. Doolittle.
Oh my God.
Okay, two more. What do you call a person who doesn't believe in Santa Claus? Eggnog stick.
Oh. I love it.
Why did the salad go to the studio? To get some beets.
Oh,
That is brilliant.
Oh God, I love it.
So that is so funny. So do you want to tell Laura and Amy about what we were saying in the session? Because that was, yeah, like Joel says in the chat, bravo.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, so the opposite to Lillian, and hello, Lillian, you came to my mind yesterday as well, so I'll reach out and we can do some work. I need more joy and happiness in my life. I have a very large, serious stump up my backside, so it's about, yeah, bringing more joy and happiness. And Dale suggested I, just practice some stand-up comedy and record myself. So I did that earlier, and yeah.
I love
well
it.
done. Is it working? Is it
It
helping?
is. It is. Yeah, it is. It's reminding me of that silly, joyful side that's in me, but I've just become very serious in the last few months with
How's that come
focusing on.
about? How's that come about, do you think?
Yeah, I was reflecting on this earlier. I've instead of like doing the work in a joyful way, making it fun, I've kind of structured it into like I have to do this, and still like not acknowledging all the work I've done so far. I keep looking at, say, my programs and my limiting beliefs, which are always going to be there, but I'm focusing on those rather than the overall picture of how far I've come.
Beautiful. And so there was a point in the session as well where do you want to share with what you're going through at the moment in regards of your future plans, what you're trying to understand, and make a plan for going forward? Do you want to share that?
Sure. Yeah. So right now, I feel like I'm in a time of great change. I've been feeling it for a while, and where I'm living, it it just doesn't really resonate. It doesn't make me happy. I live in a city, and I've always lived in cities, so I feel like I'm birthing a new self, and especially since the ayahuasca ceremony, that was coming up for me as well. So it's new beginnings and lots of potentials. So I'm looking at the potentials.
And you have such a bond with the ancestors as well, and that's all the great work you've done. And this is about you don't realize how much great work you've done, Nicola. The amount of hours and discipline and scheduling and magic and revocations, all the inner work you've done is just, you've done enough for now. And there is more to be done here, but it's about, like Laura said, the joy and happiness of being in the now. That's the biggest growth spurt for you, and creating a new you in another environment, because it's to the point where Ireland and those ancestral energies you're around at the moment are working against you, because you've done all you needed to do there. You've done all you needed to do there and more. But now it's about you. Where do I go next in the world? What ancestral energies are going to welcome me? Do I have positive ancestral energies in the place I'm moving to? That's where you're going to be now in scheduling the future. And there was a really beautiful part where Nicola was on the Rainbow Road and she was walking, and one of her mother's, her grandmother, came through. And you have such a bond and connection to her. And she was there, like I mentioned, the life review. She gave you a full life review, talked to me to tell you exactly what she advice she wanted. All we were there was, grandmother, can we have some advice? I'm going through some changes. What do you recommend? Grandmother's there. This is what I recommend. But the greater part of my answer is you. You've got to make the change. You've got to make the choice. I'm going to give you potentials, but I'm not going to tell you what to do because it's your life. Anything you want to add there, Nicola?
Yeah, absolutely. the session was incredible, Dale. Like every session, it was so helpful, and to hear from you that I've done enough work was like, okay, I can, I can take a little bit of a breather. And yeah, it's, I was just reflecting on that then when I went for a walk in the park of, yeah, I've been doing this work nonstop since I discovered Andrew. Well, a lot of listening to begin with, and really in the last few years, the actual work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now what's happened, it's become a bit serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it needs a complete change, a complete flip of the way you do things. I mean, I do things differently now, all these years on, 10 years on from working with Andrew, than I did, because it's part of your spiritual growth and spiritual development. And the fun will be in finding different ways to do, either it be ceremony or prayers, or with the whole aim of making your life that living prayer. But you can't do that unless the basis is in joy. So I feel like you need a bit of a break from it at the moment. So to allow that spiritual stick to slide out and yeah, just enjoy. You've got enough of all this work interwoven now to make your life a living prayer. So you've got it all interwoven anyway. You're carrying all those energies with you. Nothing you've done has gone unnoticed in the unseen world. And you've made, significant changes for the unseen, which is fantastic that you've done that. So now you can pull back a bit if you like and look at a new direction, as Dale was saying, but always with the joy. Because once we lose that joy, we get stale. And then if we don't have that passion behind doing the work, there's no point in doing it. Because it just becomes a repetition for no reason. The reason it works and really well in the beginning, isn't it? It's because, oh my God, we love doing this. We've discovered the mystical. We can really feel it. We're getting all that change suddenly happening. We're connecting with the ancestors. It's like so much shit just drops away. And we've got all this happening. And then after a while, what I found is that it just got samey. And I wasn't finding new ways of doing things. I wasn't recognizing my own growth. And that the mantle of responsibility is that you change with when you grow. So you take on new responsibilities. And everything is a stage and a growth. And you've come to that time where you've done loads, and it's like, take a step back and recover that joy, even if it's something not spiritual. The basis of everything is spiritual at the end of the day. So just take a step back and enjoy whatever it is you enjoy.
So
build it in again.
So as Laura's saying all that, I've got all of this ancestral energy just streaming through me. And there's your mum's side of you, which is Mary, the wind cries Mary, which is guiding you, and she's one of your closest guides and guardians. But as well on your father's side, there's fifth generation back. There's a musical blues player, and this is what came up within the session. And all this energy of blues, I was trying to filter which ancestor it was, but there was a 5 generations back from your father's side who is instilling creation music in you at the moment by wanting to be a teacher of creation and working through music to align yourself to the greater growth of you, because that's what's been missing in your lineage for so long. And you're here to create balancing the now by picking up the musical instrument, saying the jokes, writing down different patterns and recollections of your soul, because that's needed for you in the moment. You've done all the greater work at balancing you, but now it's about having fun. And the way you're going to have fun is by bringing the musical aspect to you, connecting to that specific guide and asking for counsel from him, saying, "What can you give me some ideas of what type of music I should learn?" And he's shouting blues, blues, blues to me at the moment. And that came up in the reading for you. Yeah. All of that bluesy energy coming in for you to find a place what does blues music, for you to start.
One.
There you go. So you found it. You've got such ancestral wisdom and so many ancestral energies coming through you at the moment. because you've done the work. That all the work's done there. It's you now having that co-creation moment, and the music's going to take you into such a deepening ancestral responsibility of being a grandmother and grandfather at the same time. So you're on the edge of the unknown now, and it's time to take that plunge. The world needs to see you. The world needs to see your face now. And you have to start seeing that you as a face, as a joker, having a show at some point in time in the future, and start elevating the teacher you to come forward, because they're all shouting and nagging you. It's time, bitch. It's time.
Yes, they are. I can turn on my video to say hi
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, too.
if Jill can.
Amy, what do you think?
Well, what's come for me? I would want to ask Nicola, what is joy and happiness to you? What are those? Like, again, writing is just important to write it down because you think you're going to remember it. But go beyond that, and then go beyond that, and then go beyond that. Because joy, we can say, oh, I love to, take a walk in the nature. Okay, go beyond that. And I feel as though joy and happiness is generated. It's not given to us. We have to generate it within ourselves. And I'm telling you, it will just come instantly to you. Like Dale was talking about an instrument. I never thought I would play an instrument, but something said, play an instrument, learn something different. And so that's my spiritual way of doing something different. Right. And it's helped me so much to learn an instrument.
And do you want to talk about the voices as well? You do the bell and how that helped you, because that is connection to all of this here as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got that now, and I got the Southern voice coming through. But also, I mean, I just have fun. Well, I do take voice lessons actually, so I'm learning how to do scales, and I'm learning to control my voice. Can go deep and can go high, how many octaves I can go. So that's new and different. That's changing my cellular structure, inside, for the seen and unseen people. But also like the victory, Nicola, you've got to give yourself the victories.
Mm-hmm.
Even the tiniest ones. Like, oh, I did a 4-mile walk today. Yay, I've never done that before. Something like that. It's the little ones that grow into bigger ones.
Yeah,
if that makes sense to you.
It does. And I tried to turn the video on, but it just said the host has stopped it, but not to worry.
Oh, we'll put you on. One sec. Joe, is there any way of getting Nicola to come show her face?
Show.
Yeah. Ask to start video. That might be the one, Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yay, well done.
There she is.
You're outside the tree.
There I am with my stump.
Yeah.
So.
See?
Yeah, I changed it earlier. It's a beautiful sequoia that I visited at the park. So yeah, that's the size of it.
That's beautiful. Are you in Ireland? You're in Ireland, yeah.
Dublin.
Oh, Dublin. Oh, in the city. So do you want to move out of the city? Are you looking to move?
Yeah, for a long time I've wanted to move. It's just my work is based in the city and around.
Can you commute into it? Can you commute into the city?
I can. Like all big cities, parking can be an issue. So I use public transport. And then for other jobs, I drive. So.
Yeah.
But can you take your work anywhere?
I can. Yeah.
So there's what is stopping you?
Yeah.
What's holding you back from doing something that you feel you want to do, which is move?
Me.
She's going to come over here, Laura, as well, aren't you, Nicola? To what is around here? We've seen you.
Yeah, I'd love to experience the Luciolite and the PMF mash. So yeah, I'll definitely book a trip over and get
You
the
and
feel
Lillian
for
could come
some.
on.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic to do that. Build our community.
But you live in
Absolutely.
you live in such a magical place, yeah? Ireland.
I do.
It feels magical to
Say
me
it in an
anyways.
Irish voice, Amy. Go on. Can you do Irish?
Oh, I don't think I can.
There you go.
It's
There you
hard, isn't it?
I'll butcher it. I will butcher that. Oh, do you like? I can't. And I'm Irish, half Irish, so
It's easier to talk light language, isn't it?
it's easier to talk. You have to teach us that, Nicola.
Yes.
Yes.
How's it going?
Yeah, how's it going? So
Yeah,
what do
I
you
love
do?
that,
What do you do that's magical? Tell us what you do that's
Hmm.
magical.
What do I do? Like magical for me, or
Yeah, for you.
I know it's the cliche answer of being in nature. I just love being in nature. That's magical. Food is magical. I love food and cooking.
Ah, cooking. Yeah.
Mm. Flavors and having a good laugh, which I put
Yeah.
aside recently, but it's coming back in.
Yeah, it's very natural to you, by the way. Feels very
Yeah.
natural. Yeah. Huh. What are your hidden powers? Do you have any hidden powers? I know these are on the spot. I'm putting you on this. I don't know why, but maybe you need.
People tell me I'm a good listener.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
yep, you are.
And people tell me I don't judge, which I'm not saying I never judge, but I try to, I practice being neutral and seeing
Yeah.
everyone as my brother or sister. So
Yeah,
that's a power.
that is definitely a nice hidden power.
So
Well, it's
Now you-
beautiful because you're putting your teachings into practice.
Yeah.
You're turning the knowledge into wisdom.
So, Nicola, you're on stage now, and
Yeah.
Amy's got some questions. Laura's got some questions. I've got some questions for you, and this is about you accepting the greater you and how good you are. So we're gonna. So I want you to speak from a perspective that you love thyself, and you've done the great work and so on. So, Amy, we have Amy Kruzic here, come to ask questions. Take it away, Amy.
Oh my goodness. Well, we did the hidden powers. Oh boy, now you put me on the spot, Dale. See, Nicola, this happens to all of us. I already asked 2 questions in magical. Oh, what can you teach us about the land in Dublin?
The land in Dublin, it's a very magical place. If you're sensitive in any way to feeling the energies, you'll feel the magic of the land. It's very elemental based. So even if you don't see, you'll feel the fairies, you'll feel the elemental spirits, like anywhere, but especially in Ireland, it has a very magical place. Feel, especially at the sacred sites.
What do they feel like in your body? In your body, how can you explain it to us, the feeling?
The feeling to me is it's a feeling of home. It's a feeling of the power. You can feel the ancestors of the land, their stories, their energies, the feeling of what's gone on, like example the celebrations or the burial energies. So you can really feel that strongly.
What kind of energies?
Oh, like say burial energies. A lot of sacred sites were used for sacred burials.
Ah. Do you ever write about them? The
Just
stories that you hear?
No, just if I visited a site, I would just write about it, the experience that day, but not specifically. So that's a good
That's
tip.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, sometimes we go visit places and then we have that story that comes out, but yet we go home and let's try and get that energy that we had there, bring it to us, because it is there, right? And then write the story from that. That may be something for you to try, because
Yeah,
it'll be
that's
very different. And then compare the stories, and then you could have a book by the end of the year, probably, because you live in a magical place. I mean, imagine if you wrote every day for the next 6 months, I don't know, I just see that for you. Like
that's
the
really
Earth
cool, Amy.
Guardian, like the Earth Guardian. Guardian of, you know, teach us about your area.
That's a
That's
great
really
idea,
cool, yeah.
Amy. And
Yeah.
with you going through the changes of the move, that
Yeah.
can be a process where you can have some, what's the word? You can manifest something into a physical object like a book or writing a story where you've got that chapter of your life and you share the teachings of what you learned to the ancestors, to yourself and other people as well. It's a great
Yeah.
great words there, Amy, because that would be really good, because it'd be a chapter of your life, that where you
Yeah.
lived in and what you learned, then how you grew in spirituality, how you remained balanced and so on, and what the land meant to you there, what was some of the sacred history behind the land and so on.
And what are
Yeah.
your special favourite tips for getting in touch with the ancestors of the land? Because we all develop sometimes our own little ways of doing it that you can pass on to others.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me,
Problem.
just being really still and listening and tuning into the energy of the land and just talking to them like they're, just a friend. Not worshiping them, which I probably did in the past. Like, um, so yeah, just like, chatting to them like we're here chatting in a respectful way, and just ensuring that you're saying to them, I come in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order. I want to work, let's work together. Bring offerings if you can. But I think just having that chat and stating your intention is the most important thing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nicola.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you, Nicola.
Yeah,
Thanks, Laura.
thanks so much.
So, any words of pearls of wisdom from you before we say goodbye? What does this moment open for you? What you would like to share with us?
I would like to share that I'm proud of myself for coming on.
Yay!
And I'm going to say cheers. This is a non-alcoholic Guinness.
Cheers.
So yeah, I'm having a little victory moment, and I love the show, guys, and thanks to each and every one of you every week for, coming together and sharing all your wisdom.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
for
you,
coming on
Nicola.
and for the appreciation.
Yeah, keep up those victories.
Yes. And we'll see you over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be in touch, and look forward to meeting you again.
Yeah.
Absolutely, darlings. Absolutely.
Thanks, my love.
Thank you,
Take
Nicola.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Nicola.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
So we have one more caller for this evening. Etty, we are giving you the signal to unmute.
Oh, not Etty. He's not there.
Etty.
Hi, Etienne.
Oh,
This is Etienne.
Etienne.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Etienne, sorry. Yeah.
Did, Amy, you said not Amy.
No,
Should I go
didn't.
away?
No, I didn't see your name. I'm sorry. I was looking at somebody
No,
else.
not at all.
No, I'm sorry.
I was like, is it a troll? What are you talking about? I was
there
like,
was
no.
one. There was one.
We've had four.
Sorry.
So
I
we've had
know. You
four
had to kick him out.
four tries.
Yeah.
Four tries
Yeah.
tonight. So
Well,
Etty,
good job, Dale, keeping it clean.
yes. So how are you doing?
I'm doing so well, thank you. It's such a pleasure, you guys, Laura, Dale, Amy, all of you. Just like she said a moment ago, and I so second. It's just amazing every time you come together with all these beautiful intentions, and it shows. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Etty. Where are you
Yeah.
calling from?
I'm camping right now.
Ooh.
So
Where are you
it took me
camping?
a while to get a good enough connection, actually.
Yeah.
So
Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Ohio.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So,
Oh, where are you camping from?
Queensland.
Where were you camping?
It's just a nice, lovely wooded area in actually about an hour south of Andrew, really. So not too far.
Oh, okay.
And how long
You're
you've
close
been listening to? You've been listening to Andrew, obviously. How long you've been listening to him for?
Oh gosh, I was with the group I think in 2011 and 2012
Wow.
where he came on. So I've known him for quite a long time.
Wow, the League
Wow.
of Consciousness Explorers it was back then, if anybody
really?
remembers.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know
I
that.
barely have a
League
memory
of
for
wasn't
that.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know if Dale remembers that. Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah. I
Oh.
remember what was it? The not exploring consciousness, but the like diving into it, or there's a beautiful other one that was titled something that my memory is blanking on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh God. Wasn't
Anyway, but
what was
what's great is
I'll think of it
no,
in a minute. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, please, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt you because you
Consciousness
sound like you were about to
Explorers.
get it. But
It was
yeah, but
Consciousness Explorers, I'm sure. Yeah.
well, but what's so beautiful is just how much of the path, the journey, the evolution, the development. It's not a one-man show, and I don't mean about Andrew. I mean about us. You know, like it's just
Yeah.
it's so integrated. It's so evolutionary, and it just keeps. I feel like speaking as my own individual, it keeps individuals aware that we're doing it together.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what's going on then, Etty? Can I ask you just a question first of all? How's your love life going?
Okay, I know you have a sense of humor, Dale, but no. My love life is a totally large subject. I think,
Yes.
I think you might get that. What do you get? Because there's 3 different main directions I could speak to.
I'd like to hear each one of them, but straight away when I was picking up, there's an imbalancing with your relationship and intimacy. All different aspects are like that, but I'd like to hear it from you first. So what is it like for you in your love life at the moment?
Dissociated. There's somewhat compartmentalized. It's
Yes.
one person for stability, one person for sexy, one person for things like that. It's not too and one like it just continues to be an entire mystery.
So is there ever a point where you have more than one lovers going at once?
No, I don't have any really. I say love life is not necessarily sexual, right? So
okay. So when was the last time you were intimate with someone?
years.
Years.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
That was rough. That was being introduced to a whole other side of myself. That was glorious for about 2 seconds, and until he was killed, and then it kind of put a big it put something onto me that I have been debating within many corners of my psyche of whether or not I'm actually going to be like that, meaning with myself forever after that, or if I will ever go in a direction of physical intimacy again.
So this is why what was coming up straight away is I do believe at a point of space and time you're going to have to start, if you had any body work done in the last year.
Yes.
And what body work was that?
Just maintenance and regular stuff. I mean, I've done in the last year, let's see, I've done tanks. I did like 4 of those. I've done a lot of rolfing as different sets of it. Haven't had one in a while, actually. Thought when I get back I'm going to do another one. Actually just that. It's and my own stuff at home, but that's it.
So there's a tremendous amount of hard frequency in your feet at the moment. It's like your feet are kind of got all of this soup of energy, negative frequency stuck in them. So it's going to be beneficial for you to get someone hands in, start unwinding and really clearing the feet out. The second point I would recommend is to start having a fire ceremonial ritual where you're letting go of the past lover and seeing the lover as a teacher, and the will for you now to break this karmic cycle you've gone through in this lifetime and many other lifetimes before, where lovers and past lovers who have gone have killed you. But this isn't happening in this lifetime. And this is the karmic journey now of bringing Dharma back to you, about having ceremonial no time moments again, by saying to the universe, I'm ready to love again, and start speaking to the fire all of the worries and pains you've gone through. Start asking the fire to be the medium and the counselor for you, to start coming to this releasing point where you can accept love for yourself, but from other people again. And that's going to give you tremendous growth, because straight away, as I read your energy, that what was coming, there was the sexuality of limitations coming forward from you. And this is going to require self-love as well.
Well, I set that upon you. You're reading absolutely accurate. It's just I've set it upon myself, though. It's as though I've put it into my mind that the type of sexual energy is actually so. I don't want to use the word distracting, but I'm not coming with a better one. To my goals in life. So it's almost as though somebody has to, generally speaking, somebody's going to, not has to, but going to play the role of just somebody who focuses on work. And I just feel more and more like that's where I'm going.
But you need that sexual energy in your life for more than just sex.
Yes.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. So that is going to bring so much more depth to your work and everything else you do. But again, as Dale was saying, it's you opening up and being ready for that. And always the first one, as I'm sure you know, Etty, is the love you have for yourself first before any relationship. It's how good is your relationship with you? How well do you treat yourself? Do you treat yourself like a lover? Do you do
right
yourself? And then that changes your energies. If you're not there, that changes the energies, and then that is what you are going to attract.
So
sorry.
There's something to add to Laura. There would be very beneficial for you to get some sort of scent and start placing the scent around your body. And you're going to start trying to activate the sensitivity, the smell, the taste, the touch. And you can even start putting love into your meridian system, because parts of your meridian systems of feeling, of sensitivity, of touching someone, touching yourself, are blocked from trauma. So it's about you opening those sensitivity points again, but bring the essence of lavender or just what smells you want to use, oils you want to use. Just start caressing your body. It doesn't have to be sexual straight away. It can just be the case of you scanning your body, going around with your fingertips and saying, I love you. And I know what you've gone through, and I'm here to love you until I'm balanced in myself again. So you go through the entire body, figuring out what parts of you are really hurt, what parts of you don't want to be touched. And you start sending prayer energy into the fascia, prayer energy to you, not in a sexual way to start with, but it can be over the period of time when you get used to it. You've got to learn to love yourself again. And there's a huge program blocking you when I mentioned it. And there's a huge part of you which tried to deny it. But it's just all about, like Laura said, loving you now, knowing that that person who crossed over was a teacher. It was all contracted in this lifetime to happen, for you to go through what you're going through now.
Sure. I'm not in any disagreement with absolutely all of these words as per usual, basically. But I do think it's interesting when you say the recommendations. I have to be honest. I will continue. I will continue to do what you just recommended because I do this already. And also the fire, I already do this. And I have come up with something interesting when I'm doing it, the ceremonies. It's just that I have actually, I mentioned only one, but I've had 3 very severe losses like that in my life, and they're scattered about 10 years apart. So obviously a pattern here. And the thing is, though, I have quite, I don't know what to, second sight or whatever, and the issue is that the ones that have crossed over, I've made agreements and boundaries with them that only like one time after they go and they come in to speak with me or something, or to communicate with me, that I will have that one conversation. But then I never want to make that boundary of, I don't want to talk to you in this visage again, because I want you to move on and not try to use this visage. And I don't want to do that and play this game with you. So my point is, if I can get to it, sorry, is that I feel that I may have not been clear enough with myself what I was doing there, because this is what came from the fire. I've had lots of input from ancestors, specific ones actually, which I was going to ask you about, meaning the lines from my mom and my dad. They seem to have met in a very weird, like planned weird way. But my point is not that, it's about the people the ancestors who've been trying to say things. And I want to know if you guys pick up on any of that, especially since you mentioned ancestors earlier, or like 5th generation back, because it makes sense to me that I can hear it, but it's muted. And it makes sense to me that it's muted because I've kind of put that on people I've lost,
So straight away in your voice, I can hear trauma. And that's what's stopping you from the greater experience of receiving them. There's an overpowering programming you which talks for you. And this is something you're going to have to listen back to the call. When I talk and bring up certain subject matters, this program gets louder. And I'm not judging you in any way, shape, or form.
No, you're right. I'm trying to tell you, you're right. You're right.
These programs, and it's about, there's a part of you which gets triggered. And this is the trigger part of you where you have to listen back to the call and actually listen to yourself from a sacred, neutral point of view, that there is a trauma coming through your voice. And before you speak to the ancestors and grandmothers, you have to figure that trauma out first. That's the main thing you can do here. Realize all the depression, the sadness, the rage, which is inside your frequency. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have anger, suppressed anger, but it's about you having a release point, going to get help, potentially going to psychotherapy, going through the real deep stages of how this psychologically affected you within your voice. Because I can hear how great you are and all the work you've done is incredible, but there's an essence of trauma coming through your voice when you speak. It's like I can hear the pain in your voice. And there will be a point where you're going to have to get help. You have to listen to someone. You have to suck it up, buttercup moment, as Andrew says, because everyone's here to support you and we love you. And you can do this. And it's Laura, Amy, is there
I'm getting confused when you say that, because I'm like doing all the things you say, but how am I, and this, you can call program, I get it, but how do you do the things you say, like psychotherapy, the self-love physically and with scent? I literally do that. And then not exactly the way you said, but with scent and with touch, so I don't, I do all these things. So clearly I feel like what you're saying is that we'll call it blocking something or saying no to something. But what's the solution is my question. Obviously my question is, what's the solution?
So Amy and Laura, I'd like to bring a new perspective in here.
The only thing that came up.
Sorry, something you're not letting go of that's there, whether it's grief, there's something that's withholding that you're pretending is okay. That's what's coming up for me. And you will know what that is.
Yeah, it's a person.
Yeah,
I'm holding on to a person.
Yeah.
It's a holding.
I mean, I'm sorry, a living person, to be clear. Yeah, I'm holding on to a living person.
Okay, right. So it's because it's not offloaded, if you like, not let go of. It's creating this holding on to energy. Which
can I ask all three of you? Do you get any sense that at all that this is not somebody that I should be letting go of, instead of just jumping to that conclusion, because there's trauma and hurt from it. But
So
Okay,
it's
so
it's
Well,
amazing.
you should
Go
let
ahead,
go of
Amy, go ahead.
everybody. You
I'm
actually
sorry.
have
I
to
feel
let
like
go of everybody.
everybody's talking. I'm sorry.
I know, I know.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's all good.
sorry.
Totally.
It's my energy. I know. I'm aware. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, let me just say, I picked up on something, and you have to answer this yourself, but do you feel, with all the deaths that you've had that were
Yeah.
traumatic, did
Yeah.
you feel a part of you die with them?
Of course. I mean, it was my father, biological, my child,
Yeah.
biological. So yeah, definitely dying with them. Yeah.
Okay, so that
And
could
then
be
my
part
partner,
of,
which was like my future. Yeah.
yeah. So there you go, past, future. Um, the lover now, did you say you have a boyfriend now,
No,
right?
no, he's passed.
Oh, okay. So
It's
I don't know,
Amy.
there's,
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this story, but
yeah,
I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible.
yeah.
Honest.
And another thing, so I don't know, those are just questions you can ask yourself. What part of me died with them? And now you need to grieve that or bring that piece back.
Wait. You gave me a good idea there, because if I shut out the entirety of the visage,
Yeah.
then I'm actually shutting out the part of me that went with them, so I can make room for that part to have access again.
Yes,
So,
because
so
they left with you. And also, yeah, that's a good thing to work on. That's what I was feeling.
Yeah,
Something, part of you died with them, whatever the part that was. But
different for
do you
each one.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, do you also feel alone?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, in the sense, yes. I'm sorry if I stepped on you.
yeah,
I
go
just,
ahead.
in the sense that it would be just so great to walk up to someone, or even in a Zoom or whatever, just have somebody see me as like where I came from as a start, just being here in a physical suit, and how weird that is. And they just like look at me and go like, man, it must be weird for you to be on planet Earth. I mean, that would be awesome. So in that sense, I feel alone. Yeah.
Okay, there's
Well,
something
yeah, I think
deeper
that
there.
can apply to a lot of us.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
one
Yeah.
as well. But
Yeah.
the letting go thing you were talking about of somebody, we shouldn't be holding on to anybody like that. Do you
Okay.
understand, like the letting go? Because there's a degree of manipulation and control in the not letting go.
I
Once you
appreciate that.
let somebody go, that energy will then allow them to be in your space using their free will. And if the energies are
Oh, that was so useful, Laura. Thank you. I totally, my heart just went, yep, absolutely.
yeah,
so
because
100%, 100%.
I've learned that hard lesson over
Yeah.
the years. The hanging on to, the neediness, you're filling this gap for me, and it becomes a manipulation, and that's not healthy. So even though
Well,
we're
yeah,
doing it to make ourselves feel better, so I'm talking more extreme. This was my
yeah. No, I hear
particular
it.
journey.
Yeah.
But as soon as you let go, then the universe is able to start co-creating with you what you need. It's not always what you want, as you would have heard Andrew say, but it's the letting go will set you free to put you back on your path again.
so
Hard
Yeah.
though it is at times.
a suggestion would be to write down for each and every one of them something about how they changed your life, how they affected you, but now you're choosing to let them go and see them as an ancestral teacher, separate from being in this physical, and write down for each and every one of them and have like a ceremony, a fire ceremony, where you're writing down the letting go. And this is going to be the ceremony of letting go, where you're letting go of the physical self and you're seeing their eternal self as ancestors now. And you start having to bring source awareness back to you, because it's about you finding source awareness again, finding the shawl of the earth mother around you, that you're here and this is your home. And you can have source connection within the chaos you've gone through. Like I've not gone through what you've gone through, but I've gone through so much as well. I've seen so much darkness. I've gone through darkness for a long time. But this source faith connection within me has guided me forward, guiding me to be here, guiding me to smile in the hardest situations, losing my
Yeah.
father in the space of 5 weeks from a brain tumor which killed him in 5 weeks, to have no time with him. faith got me through that and gave me the knowing to keep going. And that's what you've got to bring into this fire ceremony. The writing of you saying, thank you for all of your teachings and I love you, but I know I need to let go of you now. Write as much writing as you can on each and every one of them. Do a separate ceremony and it's just letting go ritual. Maybe have some of their favorite music on, but you have to start letting go of the physical them, seeing them as
I like that idea.
Start telling the universe, I'm ready now to let go. And because this is ancestral karma coming back to you time and time again, about times where you've died in other lifetimes because someone's died in your life. So you've given up, completely given up on the relationship, given up the relationship of the self, and you've ended up either dead or killed.
No, please don't say that. That's not true.
No, I'm talking about your past life. This is karma coming through. The obviously with my life as well. So when my dad died in the space of 5 weeks, I had a reading with Andrew after, and he said, what happens most of the time with all of these coming through is in past lives, you've lost each other in different roles. And this lifetime revolves. So it's about the process of you letting go, because in other lifetimes, you asked me about your ancestral past, and I'm talking about the ancestral past, that there are other lifetimes of you in relationships with them back and forth where the other person's died, you've died, and so on. So it's about you creating remedy in this moment to have source letting go. So you bring ancestral balancing to you. So I'm saying this, I'm saying, not saying this to attack you at all.
I don't feel any attack. What I feel is just a little bit of, I brought a little and now I need to clean it up. You know, that's what I did. So I'm going to try and clean it up real quick. I'm very interested in what my grandmothers, my grandmother on each side, my dad's mom and my mom's mom, have to say, but I can't seem to get it clearly. I heard you loud and clear about making sure that I'm actually clear without the trauma so much going into it. And I appreciate that because I know it's accurate. But that's actually part of why I was asking about it, to see if you understood something of what they were trying to do by matching my mom and my dad, because it's very evident that they were doing that.
Okay, so as I scan your father's lineage, it's all about you letting go of these aspects and personalities of you which block the unlimited point of view for you.
Yeah.
This is something that's gone on for your ancestral cycle. Your father's lineage has created karma for so long about death, war, power struggles, and so on. So it's all about you creating remedy in this moment. They're wanting you to be free now. They're wanting you to let go of all of the pain you've gone through. The more work you do on thyself, the more remedy comes into the lineage. They're all around you. All your ancestors and grandmothers love you, and they want you to feel their love and not be afraid of feeling their love. So that's the greater message for you from your ancestral lineage, is to let go, my love. It's time to let go. And I know the hardship you've gone through, but there has to be a potent, powerful expression coming through you now, where you are ready to let go of the pain you've held within you for so long. As this grandmother ancestral energy moves through you now, start connecting to this grandmother ancestral energy with remedy and resolve of being empowerment of yourself, letting go of these personalities, what block you from the unlimited point of view, the unlimited point of view in this present moment. You're blocking yourself from creating your own.
I get it. I know. I'm totally blocking a lot of what you're saying too, because
what I'm doing
it hurts my heart to think that I'm supposed to hear my grandmothers loving me when they were both satanic. Like, how am I supposed to feel that? I can't connect with it.
So that's creating to the negative side of the lineage there. Okay. You have to the greater lineage behind those. There's thousands of grandmother collective, thousands of grandfather collectives. There's only dark magic placed on some parts of the lineage, which you can get rid of by coming into remedy and resolvement of you. People say hauntings. My children have got an ancestral being, a demon attached to their lineage. I have to work and create alongside that shit. And it's just about you now not seeing the darkness, about seeing the light of you. And you
can
the power within you, Etty.
So
your potency that you have doing your great work will
and
heal.
not using it that way. I feel that way. I feel that a lot of it is just me using the same type of power that these women and men, for that matter, had in my, like, to create me, you know. But my physicality, right? So it's just being powerful without doing it in the same direction, I guess you could say, that they did.
And
Being potent, and remember you're a heart-spaced, heart-aware being, and working from that heart-spaced awareness, which you do.
Well, you guys help a lot with that.
so just going back, you asked me the question to speak to your lineage, and when I was speaking to your lineage, and all these thousands of grandmothers and grandfathers were communicating through me to give
Yeah.
you a message of awareness of the now, part of you was triggered. And this is a huge data point and understanding for you about having to listen back to these calls. It's all
Sure,
about slowing down, listening. It's time to listen now, to slow down, to start experiencing silence and the feeling of the shawl, the feeling of the earth with the shawl around you again, to come
Yeah.
into feeling space. You don't have to have the idea of seeing the darkness. It's about you just going back to that sexual frequency of loving thyself slowly, bit by bit, and maybe trying
Nice.
different techniques where you're going there
Yeah.
and you say, I love you. Like I'm here, and like I wanted to come into this body in this skin suit and this lineage for my
Yeah.
experience of the greater knowing of who I am. Then at times where you see yourself going off and saying, no, this isn't right, I'm going to focus on the darkness, just slightly start tapping yourself and
Oh
realize
no. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't need to practice to fix it, but somebody else might. I should shut up.
You will fix it
will.
by fixing
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
You will
Yeah.
find that remedy and resolve, and you don't have to give that any thought.
Yeah,
You
no,
are
I
able to do that
really
now.
just feel it. I feel like for some reason, I feel like whatever was going on in some darkness, I'm not focused on the darkness, nor am I focused on the fact that I almost never use that word satanic, but I did here, which makes me feel really weird. But that's okay. I don't usually say any of that or think about it, to be fair. What I'm coming from is that I am looking at them as having I've already had my journey of crossing and seeing so much stuff that there is no you are good or you are evil. There is none of that where I come from, where I'm looking from, you know? And so when I'm seeing that that's what they did on Earth, when I know that they have transitioned, I don't feel that that's the way that they're coming from, but I also don't feel like they're coming from love because they still have, specifically like unconditional love, because that energy, so to speak, still has so much, like you use the word manipulation. It's like that. Like I guess I'm just literally looking for the clear message in what we as a lineage, if you will, are doing like on purpose with all of that. What would be the, not the bad stuff. I mean, when you choose that kind of life and stuff. So I guess I'm just basically taking it one step at a time to see my own feet planted in the direction, like you were talking about, Dale, with my feet. They need to get a lot of that inertia out of them, and so that I can like just move with the same type of power, but in a rigidly beneficial way, you know?
Yeah, but also think of it as beneficial to you now, Etty, because what is
Yes,
beneficial to you now is beneficial to them.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
True
So
story.
this is always, as Andrew's always saying, about the self-love and the self-nurturing, and that will have that knock-on effect back through the lineage, well, backwards and forwards.
Well, I'm glad you said it that way, because it's kind of like where I've just hit that point in time where, you like pre or whatever, it used to be about building the future and making something great. And then I went through, the great journey, the many lives, the many worlds, and then sort of returning or waking up, however you call it, that changed that building into the future is sort of changed into focusing first of all on what's the difference, what's the best difference, and between the pre and the post journey, and I found that to be redemption. And so my focus has been on like trying to bring more of that feeling, that energy in general, in whatever vehicle, delivery system, to people who are currently like I used to be, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like I used to be moving forward and building something, and now I'm like looking sort of backward, in the sense of not in a bad way, but in a helping people who I know are in the building stage. Does that make any sense?
It does. And remember all your potencies in the now.
Yes.
So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
focus forward and we focus back, but our greatest power that we have is in the moment of now. And then related to helping other people, it has to be you first. And you owe this to yourself. and there's a part of distraction in you that's not allowing that. And again, this is not knocking you. You know, we all
I
do
appreciate your
this.
guys' candor.
You've denied yourself something that is there absolutely for you. The other thing that's come up is using frankincense for yourself. When Dale spoke earlier on about
Nice, yeah.
On the bottom of your feet. Put on the bottom of your feet.
Yeah, I have it burning. I have it burning now.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So
But also,
you know, you are, Etty, you are an incredible soul with so much to teach people from what you're going through now and have been through. And don't forget what an incredible soul you are and what you're doing. And, you know, keep the love you have for others is beautiful, but make sure you have that for you, Etty.
Thank you, Laura.
and
All
trust
I really
yourself.
appreciate you guys. Yeah, I really appreciate how you speak and the care that you put into each person, myself included, and I'm trying to include myself more.
Please do.
And call back in a few months' time. It's been
We'll
great.
ask you.
Trust yourself, Eddie. Trust yourself. You
And
have the abilities.
Trust what you get. Yeah. Trust what's coming.
Because we can
through.
all give you advice, but it's really you. Who knows?
Yeah.
Really you.
Well, you guys really, I appreciate you so much. So I will let you, I guess there's no more cause. So I guess we're just whatever it is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for talking.
Thank you, Etty.
Thank you, Eddie.
We love
Thank you,
you.
Etty.
We
Thank
love you
you.
too.
Love you.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in. Wow, guys, what a great show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're. I
Yes.
don't quite know if I'm saying your name right, Joran. But call in next time, will you? Because it's been quite a long show now. So
Yeah.
we'll do another one next week.
Call in next week and we'll put you on first. So yeah, just call in next week, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll get you on. Cool.
Yeah, we will.
So how can people get a hold of you for sessions and so on with Amy Kruzic music?
Oh, well, you can join our social platform with David Ellis and I at the UCM community. It's community.universalcitizentv.com, and we have free resources and free meditations and documents and AI tools and software for building your business and website. And we have a live certified program going on. It's going to start October 5th. It's a CBT hypnotherapy class. I think Nicola may be signing up for that. And Dale may be signing up. Yes, so that'll start on Saturdays for like around 10 to 12 weeks. So it's a commitment. But yeah, you can find us over there and sign in.
Thank you, Amy.
It's really worth doing. And UCM offers so much.
Yeah,
work that David and Amy are doing over there. There's so much for our community.
And you watch, when's your show, Amy, with David?
Okay, so we have, Integrative Healing Network. David and I do shows come on Mondays at 2 p.m. And they're pre-recorded. We haven't done any live ones yet, but we might be doing that. So look out for that on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you, Amy.
Yes,
Laura, Two Feathers Massey.
You can contact me at Laura2feathers@gmail.com with the number 2, and I would love to give a session to anybody who would love to book one with me, and we can look at all aspects of self-empowerment with or without shamanic training and skills and tools to do that. I'm also a hypnotherapist. I did that class with Amy.
Yes.
So counselor and hypnotherapist too. I can do that. So please, message me if you'd like a session. Thank you everybody who called in, came on the show. Thank you, my co-host. Dale, how can people get hold of you?
If anybody would like to get hold of myself, I'm offering Dreaming Lodge psychic surgery sessions. So if you'd like me to give you a reading and evaluate the inner introspection of you, we're still live, aren't we? Yes, we are. I think. So if you'd like to experience the Dreaming Lodge psychic surgery with myself, head over to daletobin.com and book a session with me. And we talk about all of the introspection, all parts of yourself, which I'll be able to scan and understand what parts of yourself, what you're telling the universe, to what you need to be focusing on. So we have all these internal programs and parts of us which are telling the universe so many different things at once. So I'll be able to start reading and fine-tuning the introspection, giving you a reading through your lineage as well, your father's side, your mother's side, and understand what balancing and karma is needed for the moment of you to grow within your soul and experience joy and happiness and have a smile. Get the serious stump out your ass and have fun.
Dale's had to.
I've had many.
I've had to.
Yes. Me too.
Even
And
Andrew
it
got to
will
take
be
the
yes.
Andrew serious stick out of his ass.
He has.
So, and can I just say thank you, Joel, for all the
Yes.
producers,
Yes,
work,
thank you, Joel.
Morgan, all of the team. And please drop a subscribe and a like wherever you are. If you're listening in the future, drop a comment on how the show was for you. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody.